Toy Story 2 is a computer animated movie that stars the voice talents of Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Don Rickles, John Ratzenberger, WALLACE SHAWN, Jim Varney, Annie Potts, John Morris, Estelle Harris, JOAN CUSACK, KELSEY GRAMMER and Wayne Knight. Music and songs are by Randy Newman. The movie is written by a collection of different writers, including the movie's director John Lasseter, the man who directed A Bug's Life, Cars 1 and 2 and Toy Story 1 and 2. The movie was also co-directed by BRANNON and UNKRICH. What's the story? We open in space in the Gamma Quadrant. Buzz Lightyear, voiced by Tim Allen, is on a mission to find the evil Emperor Zurg. He lands on an uncharted planet and is immediately surrounded by hundreds of robots with lasers. Buzz acts quickly. He fires his own laser at a nearby crystal structure, and his laser is amplified and shoots out in all directions, destroying all the robots. Buzz gains access to a hidden base inside a crater, but Emperor Zurg, voiced by Andrew Stanton, is waiting for him. After escaping a series of traps, Zurg emerges into a cavernous room and battles with Buzz using his laser cannon, blasting him to pieces. But not to worry, this is just a computer game. Buzz has been teaching Rex the dinosaur, voiced by WALLACE SHAWN, how to play, but Rex is frustrated that he will never be able to defeat Zurg. Woody, voiced by Tom Hanks, gives Buzz a list of things to do while he is at cowboy camp with Andy. Woody is stressed about not being able to find his hat, and all the toys are looking. This includes the Sergeant, played by R. Lee Ermey, and his bucket of soldiers, Bo Peep the lampshade statue, voiced by Annie Potts, and Ham the piggy bank, voiced by John Ratzenberger. Mr. Potato Head, voiced by Don Rickles, has found something, but it's not Woody's hat. It's an earring belonging to Mrs. Potato Head, voiced by ESTELLE Harris. Bo gives Woody some words of encouragement before leaning in to kiss him, but her sheep are fighting Rex for control of the video game controller. The channel on the TV is switched over by accident to reveal an advert for Al's Toy Barn. The store owner, Al, voiced by Wayne Knight, is dressed up as a chicken and he is hatching some deals today. The toys act quickly to turn the TV off before anyone else can hear it downstairs. Slinky the dog, voiced by Jim Varney, enters the room with Woody's hat, but the quiet is soon destroyed when Buster the dog bursts into the room looking for Woody. While it looks like Buster is going to bite Woody, he just licks him. It appears that the toys don't mind coming to life in his presence. Woody even has Buster performing tricks. Andy, voiced by John Morris, enters the room wearing a cowboy hat. In the 5 minutes before he must leave for cowboy camp, Andy plays with Woody. Woody saves Bo Peep from imminent death at the hands of the evil Ham, with a little help from Buzz. Unfortunately, during this playtime, Woody's arm is ripped and the stuffing is exposed. While Mom, voiced by Laurie Metcalf, offers to fix Woody on the way, Andy decides to leave Woody at home. Mom tells Andy that toys are not supposed to last forever, and she puts Woody on a shelf. Woody is devastated that he is missing out on cowboy camp. But Andy is not gone very long. Andy returns home excited about cowboy camp, and he immediately comes to find Woody. But when Andy remembers that Woody has a broken arm, he throws Woody out into the trash. But this is obviously just Woody's nightmare. There is lots of dust on the shelf. When Woody hears coughing beside him, he pulls back a book to discover Wheezy the penguin, voiced by Joe Ranft. It turns out that Andy's mom put Wheezy on the shelf too, and she lied about getting Wheezy's squeaker fixed. As this was months ago, everyone had forgotten about poor old Wheezy. Trouble is brewing when Mom comes along, looking for toys to sell at a yard sale. Some gains and toys are put in a box, including Wheezy. Woody calls for Buster and rides him downstairs to the yard sale outside. In no time at all, Woody has rescued Wheezy from the box and strapped into Buster's collar. Unfortunately, Woody falls off Buster on the way back to the house, and he gets picked up by a little girl. When her mother tosses Woody away because he has a broken arm, Woody lands on the table and one of his messages is spoken. When the man browsing the tables hears, "There's a snake in my boot," he rushes over in excitement. It's Al from Al's Toy Barn. Al offers Mom $5 for Woody, but she recognises Woody as one of Andy's favourite toys and will not sell him, even when Al offers $50. But Al is not defeated. He creates a distraction, steals Woody from a lockbox and leaves. Buzz and the other toys have been watching all this from Andy's bedroom window. Buzz leaps out, shimmies down a drainpipe and jumps onto the fender of Al's car. Unfortunately, Buzz slips off, but he does get a look at the licence plate, and a bunch of chicken feathers falls out the back of Al's car. Al takes Woody back to his high-rise apartment and puts him in a glass display cabinet. He claims that Woody is going to make him big bucks. Al goes off to film another commercial and leaves Woody alone. Woody slips out of his cabinet and tries to figure out how to escape, but all the doors and windows are locked. Suddenly, Woody is thrown onto the back of an excited toy horse. This is Buster. Buster doesn't speak, and he acts more like a loyal dog than a horse. After a ride around the room, Woody is introduced to Jessie the yodeling cowgirl, voiced by JOAN CUSACK. Jessie is just as excited to see Woody as Buster is. Finally, Buster pushes a boxed toy out in front. This is Stinky Pete the Prospector, voiced by KELSEY GRAMMER. Stinky Pete claims that after waiting countless years, the prodigal son has returned. When it is clear that Woody doesn't know who he really is, a demonstration is arranged. Woody is shown a huge display of Woody merchandise. He is on posters, lunchboxes, radios, and the covers of Life and Time magazine. Woody is shown a recording of an old TV show called Woody's Roundup from the 1950s. It starred Woody as a marionette puppet. He was famous. Meanwhile, back at Andy's house, the toys watch TV until they come across an advert for Al's Toy Barn. Making a note of the address, Buzz prepares to go and rescue him. Along for the adventure go Mr. Potato Head, Rex, Ham and Slink. But Woody doesn't need rescuing. He's having a great time watching his old TV shows. One episode ends on a literal cliffhanger. Woody and Bullseye have to jump the Grand Canyon while on their way to save Jessie and Stinky Pete from being blown up. Does Woody make the jump? Nobody knows, because that was the last episode they ever made. When Woody asks why his show got cancelled, Stinky Pete explains that kids lost all interest in cowboys when Sputnik was launched into space. Kids were only interested in astronauts after that. Woody says, "Yeah, I know how that feels." After playing some more with his own merchandise, Stinky Pete explains to Woody that they are all being sold to a toy museum in Tokyo. Everyone is excited about this until Woody announces that he has an owner and he must leave. Jessie has a nervous breakdown about being put back into storage. Just then, Al returns. He puts the toys together and prepares to snap some Polaroid pictures. However, Al inadvertently snags a thread on Woody's damaged arm and it falls off. Al quickly calls up a toy repairman, but he can't arrive until the morning. Later that night, Woody tries to steal his arm back from Al's top pocket as he sleeps on the couch. Why Al keeps Woody's arm in his pocket instead of leaving it by Woody is a mystery. Woody steals his arm, but his escape plan is halted when the TV mysteriously turns on and wakes up Al. As Woody is put back in his cabinet by Al, he notices that the TV remote is beside Jessie's cabinet, which makes her the obvious suspect for turning on the TV. In the morning, Buzz and the rest of the toys finally make it to Al's Toy Barn. The problem is that it is on the other side of a busy street with multiple lanes of traffic. Buzz's plan is to hide inside traffic cones and walk across slowly. In this sequence, they cause traffic chaos and several accidents. As the toys enter the toy barn, Rex picks up a leaflet on how to defeat Emperor Zurg in the Buzz Lightyear video game. He reads this avidly as the other toys split up and look for Woody. Across the street, the repairman arrives, and he makes Woody as good as new. The final touch is to paint over Andy written on the sole of Woody's boot. Woody even gets a sheriff badge. Back in the toy barn, Ham and Slink pick up Rex and Mr. Potato Head in a toy convertible and zoom off to search for Woody. Meanwhile, Buzz comes across an aisle filled with hundreds of Buzz Lightyear toys exactly like him. Buzz spots a new utility belt on display and he tries to get his hands on one. Unfortunately, the Buzz Lightyear it is attached to, Buzz 2, comes alive and restrains Buzz for being an AWOL Space Ranger. Just like Buzz in the first movie, Buzz 2 doesn't know he's a toy either. Buzz 2 ties Buzz up and sticks him in a box on a shelf with all the other Buzz Lightyears. The toys in the car come across a collection of Barbie dolls having fun at a beach party. When the toys ask for directions, tour guide Barbie jumps into their car. Barbie is voiced by Jodie Benson. Yes, Jodie Benson, the Little Mermaid. Rex distracts everyone with his video game leaflet, and this causes an accident. Rex falls out of the vehicle. When Rex runs to catch up, Mr. Potato Head catches Rex's reflection in the side mirror. It's an exact copy of a scene from Jurassic Park, and it's hilarious. When the toys drive past the Buzz Lightyear aisle, Barbie comments on how short-sighted toy retailers in 1995 did not order enough Buzz Lightyears to meet demand. This is another in-joke, because this is exactly what happened after the first movie was released. While in the aisle, they come across Buzz 2. Of course, they think it's Andy's Buzz. When Rex claims that he knows how to defeat Zurg, meaning the computer game, Buzz 2 gets in the vehicle and drives off with them. After Al takes a series of Polaroids of Woody and the others in various poses, he rushes over to the office to fax them to Tokyo. Left alone, a disgruntled Jessie tells Woody that he can go now, and she wanders up to a nearby window ledge to get a last look at the sun before going back into storage. Stinky Pete tells Woody to make amends with Jessie before he leaves, so Woody goes over. When Woody tries to tell Jessie that Andy is a special kid, Jessie has heard it all before. This is because Jessie had a special kid too. Her name was Emily. We next see a montage of Jessie playing with Emily in just the same way that Andy does with Woody. That is until Emily grows up and abandons Jessie. Playing over this montage is the song When She Loved Me, written by Randy Newman and sung by Sarah McLachlan. This song is so sad and beautiful, it makes me cry every time I listen to it. Just before Woody goes, Stinky Pete asks him how long he expects his time with Andy to last. Woody can go back to Andy for a limited time, or he can stay with them and last forever, adored by children for generations. Woody decides to stay. Al comes over to the office in the toy barn to fax his Polaroids to Tokyo. Andy's toys are there. Buzz too suggests they jump inside Al's bag so they can be taken to where Woody is being kept. Andy's Buzz finally manages to get himself out of his box on the shelf. He uses his acrobatic skills to follow Al down the aisles and out to the front door, but he doesn't get out because of the automatic door closing. Buzz causes a collection of boxes to topple over beside the front door, which triggers the automatic door to open. However, one of the boxes contains evil Emperor Zurg. Zurg wakes up and spots Buzz running across the street. As the toys jump out of the car to follow Al, they get the first indication that Buzz 2 is not acting normally because he thinks he can fly. When his wings don't work, Buzz 2 finds an exterior air vent to the building. The toys go inside and soon find the elevator shaft. Buzz 2 starts to climb, dragging the others along with a hook from his utility belt. Halfway up, Buzz remembers that he has an anti-gravity setting on his utility belt, so he lets go of the wall. Of course, the toys drop like a stone, but an elevator conveniently rises to catch them, which Buzz 2 thinks is his anti-gravity belt working. The toys get off at the penthouse where Al lives. When the toys hear Woody scream, they think he is being tortured, when he's actually being tickled by Jessie. They use Rex as a battering ram on the air vent and end up in Al's apartment. They steal Woody without listening to him explain and head back to the air vent. But Andy's Buzz is in the way and everyone stops. This gives Woody the time he needs to explain that he wants to go to the toy museum. Buzz explains to Woody that he is not a collector's item. "You are a toy," cries Buzz, in a clever twist in the circumstances from the first movie. Buzz tells Woody that watching kids from behind glass and never being loved again is not a life, but Woody is resolute. The toys leave, depressed at leaving Woody behind. As Woody is left on his own, the TV show that he used to demonstrate his past fame keeps running in the background. Woody can hear himself say that the real treasures are your friends and family. The Woody on TV sings "You've Got a Friend in Me." This makes Woody realise that while he can't stop Andy growing up, he wouldn't miss it for the world. Woody decides to go back to Andy, and he invites Jess and the others along with him, but Stinky Pete wants to go to the museum, so he gets out of his box and screws the air vent shut. We now learn that it was Stinky Pete that turned on the TV the previous night to wake Al up and stop Woody from leaving. Before anyone can do anything else, Al returns to collect Woody and the others. Al packs them all in a special green case and takes them to the elevator. As the toys race down the air vent to get to the elevator, Zurg appears and blocks their path. Everyone jumps on the top of the elevator. Buzz 2 battles with Zurg, but as their weapons are only toys, nothing much happens. Buzz 2 declares that he will never surrender because Zurg killed Buzz's father. In a parody of The Empire Strikes Back, Zurg responds that he is Buzz's father. Rex interrupts to give Buzz 2 some words of encouragement, but then he turns around and inadvertently knocks Zurg off the top of the elevator with his tail. Rex finally managed to defeat Zurg after all. Slink is lowered into the elevator. He opens the green case and grabs Woody, but Stinky Pete pulls Woody back into the box again. The elevator opens and Al exits. Outside the building, Buzz runs into Buzz 2. It seems that Buzz 2 and Zurg are friends now, and playing catch like father and son. Buzz 2's time with Andy's toys is over. Andy's Buzz and the other toys jump in an empty Pizza Planet delivery van and decide to drive themselves. The toys operate the pedals, gear stick and steering wheel separately. Watching them do this are three-eyed aliens hanging from the rearview mirror. These aliens are the kind kept inside the grabber machine at Pizza Planet from the first movie. As the van careers almost uncontrollably through traffic, the string holding the aliens snaps. Mr. Potato Head jumps up and rescues the aliens from falling out onto the street. The aliens are eternally grateful for this, and they won't leave Mr. Potato Head alone after this. The toys arrive at the airport. They park up and use an empty cat box to sneak into the airport. Al is at the check-in with Woody's green case. The toys follow the case on the conveyor belt, and they end up in the baggage area, where there are hundreds of cases. Of course, there is more than one green case like Woody's, so the toys split up to investigate which one has Woody. Buzz finds the right case, but when Buzz opens it, Stinky Pete punches him onto another conveyor belt. But Stinky Pete gets his comeuppance when all the toys return and tie him to a girl's Barbie backpack. Later, in the baggage claim area, the backpack is claimed by a girl called Amy. Stinky Pete joins Barbie, again voiced by Jodie Benson, for a makeover at Amy's house. Unfortunately, there isn't time to get Jessie out of the case before the case is sent down a chute to the runway. Woody gives chase on Bullseye with Buzz riding along. Woody jumps onto the baggage transporter and stows away in a golf bag that is put on the same plane as the green case. Woody frees Jessie, but they fail to get off the plane before it taxis down the runway. In a scene borrowed from Commando, Woody and Jessie climb down the front wheel. Using his string pull as a lasso, Woody swings himself and Jessie onto Bullseye racing along under the plane with Buzz. By the time Andy makes it back home from cowboy camp, all the toys are on his bed with a sign from Mr. Etch-a-Sketch that reads, "Welcome home, Andy." The next day, Andy fixes Woody's arm, which was ripped again by Stinky Pete in their fight the previous night. Buzz finds out that he is attracted to Jessie. Rex no longer needs to play the Buzz Lightyear video game because he has lived it. Al makes a new commercial in which he is close to tears. Mrs. Potato Head adopts the 3 aliens. And Wheezy's squeaker has been fixed. Wheezy sends us off with a swing version of You've Got a Friend in Me. Issues. How did Buster open the front door to get out to the yard sale? If Buster can understand Woody, why can't he understand Andy? They both speak the same language. I can't help but feel slightly uncomfortable about the number of traffic accidents the toys cause in these movies. There was a multi-car crash in the first movie and several more car crashes in this movie, plus the toys drive the pizza delivery van while blind. One incident includes a truck losing a giant concrete pipe and knocking over a lamppost. It's only a matter of time before someone gets killed. It doesn't seem a very responsible message for a kids movie. When Woody is cleaned by the repairman, there is no sign of the burn mark on Woody's forehead, put there by Sid in the first movie. Why does Al take his bag across to his office when all he is carrying is a few Polaroids? And why doesn't Al notice that his bag has dramatically increased in weight after the toys jump in it? And then Al leaves the bag in his car anyway. Woody is very fickle in this movie. First he wants to get home, then he wants to be in a museum, and then he wants to go back home again. If your main character doesn't know what he wants, it's hard to support him. If Woody and the other toys are so expensive, why doesn't Al bother to put any sort of lock on the case he ships to Tokyo? If the toys are never supposed to come to life when humans are around, why do the toys come to life whenever boxes are opened? How do the toys know that it isn't a human opening their box? Shouldn't the toys remain motionless until they are sure there are no humans around? Review. Toy Story 2 is a very satisfying sequel to the original movie. In addition to our favourite characters, new ones are introduced that are just as engaging. The writing is just as good as it was before, and this is demonstrated by its Oscar nomination for Best Screenplay. There are also Oscar nominations for Best Music and Best Song for When She Loved Me. My rating, 95%.
Hi, this is Mike Kendall, and thanks for watching my video. I'd like to know what you thought of this movie. Was it a hit? Was it a flop? Let me know your thoughts and rating in the comments section. You can also tell me what other movies you'd like to see reviews for. Please like and subscribe, and remember to hit that notification bell for all my new videos. Sharing these videos on Facebook and Twitter would help me out a lot. I'd sure appreciate it. Don't forget to check out the other videos on my channel. We're adding more all the time. I'm off to see a movie. You have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.